Destiny, a game which landed a solid 7.6 out of 10 and has inserted itself into the gaming consciousness as a title which isn't half bad. Between the almost monotonous but not quite grinding are gems of brilliance which tell the story of humanity's struggle against an evil which has obliterated centuries of prosperity and demolished all but one city of our once mighty civilization. At the spearhead of this struggle are the Guardians, a group of pretty sweet-looking individuals who live in the tower, which overlooks our last stronghold known quite simply as the city. The story of Destiny unfolds as you, a single Guardian, fight towards the unanimously popular goal of saving humanity from whatever the hell caused all of this. But before we get into detail about what triggered this mass extermination of our lovely species, let us first ask an important question. What do the Guardians represent in the grand scheme of humanity's future? Yes, saving humanity from oblivion seems like a pretty solid game plan, but in the grand scheme of the universe, one has to ask if that's such a great idea. Not far into Destiny's campaign, we learn that the Guardians were assembled due to the last dying wish of the Traveler, this all-wise, all-knowing sphere who launched humanity from its current state into an unhindered golden age of expansion, happiness, and technological advancement. All of this sounds pretty good, right? It makes you wonder why a giant testicle hasn't descended on us in real life to rip us from the monotony and suffering that we've created for ourselves. Well, before you pop another Prozac, realize that after several centuries of prosperity, the yin finally caught up with the yang, bringing with it an unspeakable evil, known quite simply as the darkness, thus sparking the collapse, the name given to this terrible event. The darkness pushed back life's progressive conquests by a wave of death quite literally the size of our solar system. So I'll ask the question again. Why is humanity's ultimate goal of survival so important? Especially when considering this kind of shit. Sure, the Traveler got us away from that, but I didn't mention that in order to combat this force of destruction, the Traveler sacrificed itself and now lies dormant, nearly dead, as what's left of our species hides under its shadow. At any moment, we could go back to those ways now that we're no longer under this fallen sphere's watchful gaze. And allegedly, the Guardians were created in some manner by the Traveler just before its demise. How strange that this omnipotent orb would assemble a team of humans to save not only itself, but themselves. So our parent is dead and we're now space orphans. Damn it! Perhaps the profoundness of this all-knowing deity relying on a squad of mortals will be realized during the tale of the Guardian's struggle against the decimation of humanity. And so too shall it also perhaps bring forth the story you never knew. After an undisclosed amount of time following the decimation of our species, we begin the journey of our Guardian, awoken from death by a ghost, which can be described as a floating artificial intelligence who is pretty darn helpful. Blah blah blah, you fight through aliens called the Fallen, get to a spaceship, and hey! Who the hell was that? Curious. Well, fast forward a little ways past some combat and acquiring of items, and we see the Guardian's official spokesperson, titled the Speaker, talking to us about some important stuff, including how the Traveler created your ghost and all of its little buddies in its dying breath so that they may assemble the Guardians. But with this informative story comes a terrifying prediction of things to come. According to the Speaker, the darkness is just out and about, doing whatever it is an amorphous blob of evil does in the infinite void of space, and when this zany dark spot is done milling around, it will return and quite probably finish off humanity in our weakened state. Will the Guardians be able to save our species in the absence of our supposed deity? Will humanity's potential survival actually be beneficial to the universe? Will we meet a character without an article in front of their name? The grandiose nature of the Destiny universe is full of some pretty hardcore philosophy and literary genius that actually points towards concrete answers to these questions. Except for that last one. That last question was a joke. What, you thought I was serious? I'll admit the campaign of this game is far from genius in how it was presented. In fact, Destiny's campaign is remarkably dry compared to what it was supposed to be. There's substance, of course, but it's mostly scribbled onto grimoire cards rather than shown to us in cinematic splendor. One such grimoire card is a conglomeration of different perspectives on what the darkness actually is. Keep in mind, I've only described it as a mysterious evil force. By the time Destiny's campaign takes place, several generations have lived and died since the horrific cataclysm, and so nobody really remembers what exactly the darkness is. One such perspective is from the mind of Ulan Tan, a controversial warlock whose teachings formed the core doctrine of a prominent Guardian faction. Good ol' Ulan believes that the darkness is a necessary symmetry to the Traveler. That is, the darkness and the Traveler partake in a sort of cosmic harmony, the evil constantly balancing out the good because that is simply the nature of the universe. Then we've got Toland the Shattered. Oh man, is this guy depressing. He believes the darkness is the natural evolutionary endpoint of the universe. Everything is always in a constant sort of Darwinian competition until the darkness, a being of pure conquest, inevitably wins out, ruling absolutely over every planet, every galaxy, every atom. He adds to this that any competing idea, such as law, knowledge, and might working together towards a benevolent end, is merely the dream of small minds. Then there's the Binary Star Cult. These guys are heretics who believe the Traveler itself triggered the collapse and merely used our species as a sacrifice or proxy army in its personal struggle against the darkness. What a douche move that would be! These are just 3 of the many perspectives on the nature of the darkness. Believe me, there's plenty more. Nobody can seem to agree. It just goes to show you that right answers are hard to find in this life. So then why is humanity's ultimate goal of survival so important? One guy thinks it will just be another push within the cosmic balancing act. Another guy thinks it's pointless. And this other group of guys think we'll just be working towards the goal of a selfish being. Clearly, the Traveler knows more than we do, and clearly it has a vendetta against the darkness. But is this vendetta justified? This spherical god may be at a higher level of consciousness than us, but even that is just a perspective, one of many. Now our god lies dormant with an impending doom approaching, and we must be independent again. Our race has dwindled to a handful, but we have the remnants of knowledge passed down to us centuries ago by a being much wiser than us, be it benevolent or not. Should we survive, it would mean that we've ascended to a level on par with what we once considered a god. These centuries of being denied our parent in the face of annihilation would give rise to a new paradigm for humanity. One where we are not carried upwards by a higher power, but rather propelled to new heights by our own ambitions. Indeed, that is why the survival of humanity is so important. It would signify a new era for our species. Our survival would preserve our collective perspective, now advanced far beyond what it was thanks to a being who once dwarfed our intelligence. By worshipping the Traveler, we surrendered our power, surrendered our perspective, and as can be seen by the many interpretations of the darkness, and even by the clashing between the darkness and the Traveler, perspective is all there really is. Our collective consciousness would theoretically be past our overtly negative habits and allow humanity to spread its more enlightened version of itself to where it once inhabited and beyond. That's why our survival is so goddamn important. That's why the Guardians are so goddamn important. And that's the story you never knew.
Hey everybody, I know that at the end of these videos we normally do some sort of cheesy, quirky skit or whatever we do, and we're gonna keep doing those, don't worry, we love doing them. But this is sort of a very special video just because we will have either passed or be about to pass the 250,000 subscriber mark. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of everybody who works at Treesicle. So we want to give back a little bit more. And to do that, I think the best way for us to start is to do a question and answer video, so a Q&A video. And if any of you guys have any questions for us, tweet at our Twitter handle at Treesicle Team, and we'll get those questions. Use the hashtag poopdeloop. Use that hashtag, tweet at Treesicle Team, any questions you have over like the next week or so. We'll get them all, we'll answer them all, we'll put it into a video. It'll be fun, and if it works out really well, hopefully we can do more stuff like that. The second thing, not in this video, but in the next upcoming Story You Never Knew, watch till the outro again. Watch the outro. We're gonna have something special happening in that outro. You're not gonna wanna miss it. You can get something really awesome out of it. I can't say any more than that. I really wish I could. Again, thank you so much from me, from Ryan, from Kevin, from Grant. All of us, we're so happy and thankful for you guys to be watching our videos, and we love you guys so much. And we'll just see you in the next video.